Hey, board gamers, BJ from Board Game Gumbo here, back with another episode of Gumbo Live. It's been a long time. We're a little bit rusty. Let's see if we can get this thing going. It's episode number 96, Gumbo Live, the #1 Facebook Live talk show dedicated to board gaming, although I'm not so sure we can make that claim anymore. Our special guest tonight, we don't have any. We'll be talking about that in a little while. Board Game Gumbo, a proud member of Punchboard Media. Check out our other fine members like Patrick and Eric in the morning. They're a wacky, zany podcast morning show all about board games with your hosts, Patrick Hillier and Eric Buscemi. Punchboard Media, where we all bring something to the table. Hey, hit me up on social media tonight on Twitter at Board Game Gumbo or on Facebook at facebook.com/Board Game Gumbo. And we'll be looking for your questions in the chat crew. But let's get right to the show. Hey, so where have we been since December? December, we had our last show with Mardi from Rolling Dice and Taking Names, and we had a great time with Mardi. We told you that we were making some changes with the studio, and that has not come through yet, so we're still not quite ready to get this thing off the ground. As soon as we can get that ready, we'll get the shows started. And I had planned to get book some guests. I actually had 4 guests lined up, and then, of course, all of this stuff that's going on with the coronavirus that we'll talk about in a little while. So that's what's been happening. The show is on a brief hiatus until we can get this going, and hopefully we can get the new studio set up and we can get some guests coming back in. All right, so other big news to talk about: Southern Board Game Fest. You guys know that I'm on the board of the Southern Board Game Festival, the largest dedicated board game festival in Louisiana, out here on the Gulf Coast. We were way ahead of ticket sales in year 3. Yeah, in year 3. Way ahead of ticket sales. We were doing fantastic. We had a special guest, a very special guest of honor, Stephen Bonacore from Stronghold Games. We were so excited to bring him in. And then, of course, all hell broke loose this past week, and we just had all kind of trouble with this. So we made the decision that we were going to try to cap the tickets and still move forward with the festival on April 4th and 5th. I mean, we had such a lineup. We had 4 or 5 different board game companies from the Gulf Coast that were going to come to show off their games. Woody and Adam, the guys from Hutchu Games, were coming to demo and to sell Plunderbun. We had 2 local artists who, in the comic book industry, who have been involved in a board game, doing the art and doing some of the production for board game. They were going to be there to sell Maniacal. That's right, Maniacal. They were going to be there to sell the game and to keep that going. And we had 2 other companies that were coming. So we're super excited. Yeah, one of them was a game I didn't even know about, Mardi Gras Madness, produced right there in New Orleans. That was going to be a lot of fun. They were going to come and demo their games and sell it. And a company out of Dallas, I'm just drawing a blank as to the game that they were doing. But so we had 4 there. We had a fantastic hot games area that was ready to go. Tons of new games from companies all over the country. We even I have a copy of The Crew coming, should be in next week. So that was going to be fun. We finally get to play The Crew. We had a bunch of play to wins that we were going to do. And our demos, we do these guided playthroughs. So if you've ever been at Gen Con, you can get the designer or somebody that knows the game real well to come and teach you the game. And that's what we were going to do also. So we were going to check that out. Let me just check and see if the chat is live yet. Looks like we're having a little bit of trouble with the chat, but we're going to keep it going here. So with the Southern Board Game Festival, unfortunately, we had all these plans for year 3. Ticket sales going great. We got the notice from the governor that we had to limit the size, and then we got a notice from our host provider that we just couldn't host the festival at this time, no matter how small we made it. So we made the decision to push it on into the fall. We should have those dates locked in and out there for you pretty soon if you're planning to come. And we'd love to see you at Southern Board Game Festival. Our friends from iHeart Board Games are going to broadcast most of the festival there. We're going to have contests. We're going to have tourneys. We're going to do a live show, a live board game show that night. You know we like to play games on the show. So we were going to do that with a big group, and we had tons of prizes for that. And we even had a meetup. We're going to have our Board Game Gumbo meetup on Friday night with Stephen Bonacore. We had a local little brew pub place. We're still going to try to do all those things in the fall. So let me not sound negative. hopefully we can get those things done in the fall. So I just wanted to do a brief show tonight just to talk about some of the things that are happening. Let me make sure that everything is working out right here. Let's see. Make sure that we're getting picture right. Looks like everything is broadcasting right. I just want to double check it and make sure. Yeah, looks like everything's working right there. I am not getting the chat, unfortunately, so I'm going to have to kind of look at it down over here. Hey, what's up, Marshall? Got Marshall Wells checking in, and Steve O'Rourke, our buddy. I've been playing some games with Steve, and we're going to talk about that in a little while. I heard, yeah, Steve, about the crew. Same thing happened to me. I saw the crew is delayed. I was supposed to get it in today, just like you, and it got pushed over till next week. We got Christopher John checking in. Hey, Christopher, good to see you. For some reason, Be Live is not showing me an active on the chat, so I'm just going to What I wanted to talk about, the first topic, is find out from you out there in the chat crew. We've got the coronavirus going on. Our little town here in Acadiana has been kind of shut down. And what is happening out there where you live? Are you still gaming? Are you doing online gaming? Are you reading rule books? What are you doing to get through the coronavirus thing? I would love to see you, and I will check with you in the chat crew if we have some. Let's see what we got. I'll have to keep refreshing. Yeah, this is, of course, Be Live is going to have some problems tonight. We're just not getting any of the chat at all. Not good. So I'm just going to leave it up there. Nick Shipley says, hey, he is downloading more game apps. Nick, I just spent $20 and then pulled it back tonight. So two of the guys in the Gumbo, Dave and Carlos, have been praising the Terraforming Mars app on Steam. And I love the game. I just don't get to play it that often. So I was like, this would be pretty great. Let me try getting the Terraforming Mars app. So they're all on Discord and tell me about getting the setup. I go onto Steam, I buy the game, try to download cancels instantly. I'm like, what's going on? I tried it 2 or 3 times. I uninstall it, try reinstalling it, turn off my computer, pull it back up. Finally, I go to the help thing and check in with Steam. I didn't realize that Terraforming Mars, as far as I can tell, is not available for the iMac. It's not available for Mac iOS. It's only available for Windows. So I run the studio here upstairs here on an iMac. So I had to request a refund, which I've never done with Steam before. But hey, I didn't download the game. I haven't played it. I've got no hours into it. Hopefully, they'll give me a refund on that. So yeah, Nick Shipley, downloading more game apps. That is a fantastic. Sorry, I can't post up the comments onto the Be Live, but it's just not quite working tonight, and I don't know why. BJ from Game Gumbo here. Not episode 96 of Gumbo Live. No guests tonight. We're just talking, what have you done with the coronavirus? So Marshall Wells says they've canceled everything. I know you guys have canceled your meetup. They're using Discord and BGA and Steam to meet up. Yep, that's one way to do it. Play some games there. I've been playing some games in the family. And if you saw some of the pictures I posted, we've been playing a lot of Oceans. I should have the review up for Oceans either up tomorrow. Hey, Matthew Ward, Grumpy Matthew, checking in from New Mexico. What's up, man? Raiders of the North Sea is on my list. Is that available somewhere? I think I saw that it's available on the Switch, right, Matthew? That would be pretty cool to play. I have not. I've played the physical game, but I have not played the app yet. Steve O'Rourke says, playing some small family games, some solo games, Black Sonata. Yes, Black Sonata. That I can't take credit for that. My buddy Carlos talked me into playing that, and it is fantastic. I don't own a copy, so I had to play with Carlos's version. And lots of Yukata. Yep. And I think I owe you a move on Yukata right now. So, nope, not yet. So we're still waiting on that. Reginald Matthews. Hello, Reginald. What's up? And congratulations. Love what you've been posting on Facebook. Congratulations on the job and some of the educational things. So I haven't played Awkward Guess. I am jealous. So Matthew Ward says it's on iOS. I got to check that out. Raiders of the North Sea. Marshall Wells says Animal Crossing. Yeah, I haven't played Animal Crossing since way back on the Nintendo 15 years ago, so I'm way behind on that. I have no idea what to do there. Nick says Wingspan is out on or coming soon on the Switch. I think that's going to be a big seller on Switch. Perfect format for it. My son's got a Switch. I love Wingspan. Can't always get people to play it. That is one that I would actually buy for the Switch. Mr. Sean. Mr. Sean's got plenty of time to game right now because I know you're not working at school, Sean. So good to hear from you, Mr. Sean. I haven't talked to you in a while. Raiders on the iOS as well. So, yep. I mean, I haven't. Is it good? Are you guys enjoying Raiders? I want to hear about that. Settle a solo game of the Colonist. Yeah, I'll let you play that one, Sean. I'm not doing the Colonist. That is a long time. He's reading the rules right now. Yeah, and he's got a grumpy face. Man, I wish I could put these comments up. What is wrong with you? Oh, it's just killing me. Why is BeLive like this all the time? They just give me. This is all I can do. I can put this link up. I don't see any of your comments, and I don't know why. Oh, it's killing me. All right, so I want to hear. Let me know what games you're playing, what activities you're doing. Marshall talked about his game nights canceled. Have your game nights canceled? Are you still doing small ones? You know, on Friday, my little scout dads, we try to get together once a month to play. We played 3 games of Azul and Stop Thief as the 4th game. That's the kind of games they like. And we kept it. But there was only 3 or 4 of us. Anna Maria Jackson Phelps. Hey, Anna Maria, what's up? I know you've been doing some live broadcasting, been enjoying your programs. I missed the question, so she's throwing out games. So the question for the night is, what are you doing during coronavirus? I know what you're doing. You're doing a lot of broadcasting. So that's awesome. Wonder Woman, I haven't played. I've seen it. I played Chai back in prototype form when we did our review of it, and Yokohama. Matthew has been doing solo RPGs. I've never done a solo RPG. But, you know, I love those graphic novel adventures. I know it's not an RPG, but it feels sort of like an RPG, a solo RPG, right, Matthew? And Wonderful World. You know, Anna Maria, I haven't played it yet. It's on the hot games table at Sobo. By the way, Southern Board Game Fest being rescheduled to the fall, unfortunately. Wonderful World but I will tell you, some of the demoers who learned the game, not impressed. Hopefully, I'm going to find something wrong. So, Anna Maria, I'm going to take your recommendation, and I do want to try it because it looks like the kind of game I would enjoy. But, yeah, so far, the Gumbo crew wasn't too impressed. Yeah, David, I know I was just telling them the story. I missed Terraforming Mars because I didn't know it wasn't for the Mac. I didn't know that. I was doing it too quickly. So Nick is asking, which of the graphic novel adventures have I done? I did only one. Punchboard Media had one review copy of the one, is it called Kidnapped or Captured? Something like that. It's the one where the guy's daughter is kidnapped and there's a mysterious house you have to go in. You'll have to, yeah, exactly. Matthew Ward says the Van Ryder graphic novel adventures. That's what I'm talking about. So can you call that an RPG? I mean, you're sort of playing a character. You do have stats. You do have to, attack things. I don't know. We'll see. Captive. Yeah. Thank you, Nick. So Dave says Wonderful World is great. Now, Dave, you're the first one in the crew that I've heard with good comments on it. So I'm glad to hear that. So if you haven't checked it out, Anne-Marie, who's been a guest on this show, runs a site called Girls Game Shelf, and they're doing a lot of broadcasting. She's got a list of places you can play board games online with your friends and have fun from a distance. That's right. We've been playing Yukata nonstop. Hey, there's Jesse. What's up, Jesse? I was watching your Twitch show last night. If you haven't checked it out, iHeartBoard Games. Apparently, Jesse is a specialty. His specialty is getting people to join iHeartBoard Games, and then they get new jobs and move away. So I think he said it's like 4. So Jesse, I'm definitely just going to be a guest on your show. I don't want to be part of your show because then I'm going to have to move. But yeah, if you haven't checked it out, check out twitch.tv/heartboardgames. I think that's right, huh, Jesse? And you can see Jesse playing solo games on like digital. And you can also see him with the usual cast of characters, Joe and Melissa Sings and all those people. So check out Jesse and the crew from iHeartBoard Games. And Jesse, hopefully we're still on for Southern Board Game Fest in the fall. Hey, there's Chuck Yeager. Chuck is the moderator of our favorite group out there, Gateway and Filler Games Group. Thank God for Chuck. He posts all the time and he keeps the group active, and we do the best that we can. So Good to see you, Chuck, and keep up the good work on that charity. Whatever we can do from Board Game Gumbo, we want to help you. Matthew Ward says, Captive is a story puzzle game of sorts. I know, but if you Captive, I don't want to spoil anything, but you have to keep stats, and you've got hit points, and you got to get through certain things. I don't know. Okay, so I'm not sure, and then I wish it was working with the Chat Krewe. I wonder if the Loup-Garou, by the way, Nick, as you well know, is something I would like to purchase. So if I could find a copy just for the name, the Loup-Garou, if you don't know, is a Cajun tradition about this sort of werewolfy beast. Not really a werewolf, but a beast that lives out there. I would like to play the Loup-Garou. So yeah. Matthew Ward, Grumpy Matthew, take that. Nick agrees with me. It is sort of a solo RPG. So that's right. Chuck rules, Steven. All right, Steve. I think Steve says I've got a move to make. No. Hey, great news. Because I'm such a dummy, they refunded my purchase on Steam of Terraforming Mars. So I got $21.68 back. Very nice. Thank you, Steam. They came through. I only had the game for like 30 seconds and I never downloaded. So, all right. Tonight, BJ from Board Game Gumbo. I've got no guests here. We're chatting about what we are doing during coronavirus 2020. I'm taking suggestions from people, and so give it to me. What are you doing? Are you changing your game groups? Are you playing online? And we're looking at the Chat Krewe. Unfortunately, I can't post up the chat, but Mr. Sean says, is there a new date for Sobo? Let's just say that I do know the date, and it's very early in September. That's all I can say. Not very, very, but kind of early in September. That let's just say it's a hold. Okay, we got to work out some technical difficulties, some logistical problems, but hopefully we'll get that done. So yes, and Mr. Sean, can I expect you there? Because we would love to see you in Louisiana in September. I promise you, the weather's gonna be great. Hey, it's Jesse Fernandez, our old friend Jesse. What's up, Jesse? He says, yeah, we haven't seen you in a while. I know. December, my last show with Mardi. Supposed to be working on a new studio, and it hasn't worked out yet. So I took a little hiatus to work on the new studio, and it didn't. Oh, and all of a sudden, we're getting the Chat Krewe. Here it is. And that's right. There's Jeremy Howard says, this is what happens when I sue. So Jeremy knows that we've been using Jambalaya forever, but one of the games is called Jambalaya, and of course his channel was Jambalaya Plays Games when he used to do the blog. So yeah, Jeremy, good to see you. And man, you're doing some great work with Man vs. Meeple. All right, so what else is happening? Jeremy's there. Well, I'm way behind on this, but it's actually working now. Yeah, thank you, Matthew. It is my show, and I can be right on that. So yes, don't forget, Southern Board Game Fest getting rescheduled till early September, if we can work out the details. And yes, Stephen Bonacore has said he really wants some Louisiana cooking. He really wants to try our local beer. He's a certified beer judge, right? And so we are hoping to have Stephen Bonacore back there. But tell me, BJ from Board Game Gumbo, I've got my no guest here tonight. We're just chatting about what you are doing during coronavirus 2020. So Anna Maria says, Roland writes you can play over chat as well. That's not a bad idea. I love it. For some reason, I am losing the chat again. Oh, this is so much fun. So Jesse says he's got a new game that he's working on, Dynamo Monsters. So still in production from 2004 to 2020. Okay, I got to check this one out. So let me know that. Marshall, who's head of the Cinelog Game Group and was their group was going to be phenomenal at Southern Board Game Fest. He says he will definitely be there. So we're looking forward to that. What is Chuck doing? Chuck says lots of World of Warcraft and planning a fundraiser for the Ronald McDonald House. That's right. You can make it official now. He's doing a charity event for the Ronald McDonald House up there in Pittsburgh, right? Up there in that area. Philadelphia. That's right. So that is good. Marshall Wells says he'll be at Sobo, Rain or Shine, still planning on teaching Paladins of the West Kingdom. I'll be teaching Reavers of Midgard, still planning on doing that. You'll be doing Paladins of the West Kingdom, which, by the way, I got to play for the first time Wednesday night, Marshall. Bradley and I played just about a full game right before store closing. With the teach, we were right at 40 minutes. We steamrolled through the game. So I can't say I understand every part of it because it was literally like, take a turn, make a move. And then Tev's over there at the register looking at us going, 30 minutes, 20 minutes. And we're just flying through a 3-person game in 40 minutes with the teach. That was pretty rough. But I mean, the game is, I'm not going to say the game's not complicated. It is, but it's one of those push-pull things. You know, you pull a lever and other things happen. And I love those kind of games. It's like a baby Vital. Baby Vital. It's definitely not as heavy as any of the other Vital Lacerda games I had. But kudos to Shem Phillips. I really liked it. If I play a full game at normal speed, out of the ones that I played, it might be my favorite. I definitely enjoyed it more than Raiders, and I definitely enjoyed it more than Explorers, which so far has been my favorite, Explorers. So yeah, we do need to start a gumbo group on Yucata. We got so many people that are playing, and you know the Dukes of Dice aren't that active on Yucata. Calling you out, Sean. Calling you out, Alex. Steve and I are way more active on Yucata. I would be happy to start a gumbo group on there. Jesse says Dynamo Monsters is one of 28 games he's designed, but he still hasn't published yet. Yeah, Marshall, we're talking about Paladins. Complicated but thinky. The solo mode is solid too. Hey, that reminds me. Who's out there playing solo games? Sean talked about setting up a solo game of the Colonist. Anybody else? Who's playing solo games? Love to hear about that. Mr. Sean, come down to Sobo. Come play Paladins with us. Love to see that. Matthew says, hoping to get more of a storytelling RPG going online somehow. Well, I think you guys were playing an online RPG, or was that Alex and Sue's? I can't remember. So, and I've never done that. I've never done an online RPG. That would definitely be interesting. So, all right, I want to hear. Chat crew, what have you been playing? What any solo games that you've been playing? I will tell you about one that I have played. BJ from Game Gumbo here, Gumbo Live, talking about games, things that we're doing during the coronavirus. And one of those that I've been doing is a game called Adventure Games. It's from Cosmos, our friends over there. Hey, Tom Wetzel. Our friends over there. I saw that Jesus is putting together some packages for people that are stuck up there in Michigan, can't play games or can't get to their regular game night. He's got 4 or 5 Cosmos bags just loaded down with games. And one of the ones that I played is called The Dungeon. It's by Phil Walker Harding and Matthew Dunstan. On this show, I don't think I need to explain who Phil Walker Harding is. Steve, the name father, will list like 5 of his favorite games for Phil Walker Harding. But Matthew Dunstan, not a name that everybody recognizes, but you should. It's Elysium and a million other games like that. So both great designers. How does The Dungeon play? Matthew was talking about that solo RPG. This is not really an RPG. You don't really have a character that you're playing, although you do have a little character face in the picture, and you can picture that. But imagine the old Myst. Remember those Myst-type games where you point and click through a story and you have puzzles to solve and places to explore, and you felt like you could go anywhere? You know, we used to play those all the time back in the 90s. So that was one that I really enjoyed, and I just can't think of it. It had a house and this really creepy guy that you had to get rid of. It was those Sierra games. Man, I just can't. I'm drawing a blank as the name of it, but we played it all the time until we could finish it. And that's kind of the way the dungeon works. You wake up in a dark dungeon. You can see all the places in the dungeon, and you can use an app if you want to, or it's got a book. If you see a place inside on the card showing the location, it'll have a number. The opening scene has you're stuck in the cell. I'm not spoiling anything because that's the very opening scene in the game. And there's things to look at. You can shake some bars. You can look under your cell. You can go over to the wooden door and test it out. And when you want to interact with it, you punch in a number, or you look at that number in the book, and then something happens. You can even put things together. If you find a phone and a SIM card, you could punch the number for the phone and the number for the SIM card, put them together into one smaller number or larger number, and then look at that one and see what happens. So it's very, very innovative the way it walks you through the story. I've played it solo, I've played it 2 players, and I've also played it with 4 players with my nieces and nephews during the Christmas holidays. I was okay on the 4-player, but I think as a solo or a couples experience, the adventure games are phenomenal. So if you haven't tried it, these are all the cards. Let me show you how it comes up on the inside without spoiling too much. You get a nice little rule book. You get the location cards, which look like this. And, I don't want to spoil too much if I could find the very first one. I think it's A. Yeah, there it is. So there's the first one. See how it's got those numbers on there? So you just punch in those numbers, and then you interact with it. There's a loose brick or a skeleton or some bars. Punch those numbers in, and then something happens. You got your little meeples that you'll use to go along the part. And then the key to the game is all of these cards. It tells you the book or the app, and the app is really cool to play with. I recommend using the app. It'll tell you, take a look at card number 18. And then art 18 will be some kind of item that you can use or some kind of event that's going to happen. And you just keep exploring that and trying to figure out the puzzles as you try to escape the dungeon. I am not going to spoil anything more than that, but that is Adventure Games by Cosmos, designed by Phil Walker Harding and Matthew Dunstan. Perfect game for the coronavirus. Let's get back to the chat. All right, so what we got here? Mostly on apps. It's right. I played all the apps he's talking about. I haven't played Patchwork on the app, but I love all of those. I don't play Splinter anymore because I've played Splinter 30,000 times. And also, if you're a fan of Cthulhu type things, Elder Signs still is available as far as I know, and it has so much content, and it is addicting to go through all the other things. And I will tell you, it's so much less fiddly on the app because the app does everything for you. Chuck has the dungeon. I don't think he's played it yet. Yeah, that's right. Alex and Suze and Sean and the Board's Life crew. So I have heard some of those episodes. Not safe for work or for children, by the way. Yeah, so Matthew, I have both of them. I have the dungeon and I have the one that to me looks like, what's the show with the kids that are riding the bicycles and trying to solve the crimes? Dang it. I'm drawing a blank, but I know you know the show I'm thinking of. The something Inc. Is the other one that I have. I just haven't cracked it open yet. So this is more my style. But I'm drawing a blank on that show that's so big. It's like we're coming out with season 4 now. So Steven says, yeah, all the different games that you're going to recognize from Phil Walker Harding, Silver and Gold, Archaeology, Stranger Things. Thank you, Sean. Thank you, Mr. Sean. Thank you, Marshall. Stranger Things. So, yeah, they have the other one that I've seen with the adventure games looks a lot like Stranger Things. I think it's called Monochrome Inc., and it looks like an evil secret corporate lab, and that's all I know because that's all I can see on the front cover. But mine has not been cracked yet, so got to figure that out. Matthew Ward says, maybe play some Seventh Continent solo too. That I've heard is a great solo game. I have not played Seventh Continent. Carlos has everything for it, as far as I know. So I have to try that. Yep, Nick, that's right. Stranger Things. Thank you, Nick. All right. What else? What other games have you been playing? Anything that I need to check out there? Anybody interested in playing on Yukata? You can find me and Steven on Yukata every night. We'll set up a game with you. We like to do it asynchronous, because I'm not always on, but I keep it going. We make lots of plays during the day. I'm easy to find. It's Board Game Gumbo on Yukata. So hit me up with a friend request or a game request, and I would love to play you with that. Let me see what else I got here. Hey, you know what else is another good idea we could do on Games of Coronavirus? How many of you have a shelf of shame and you haven't opened stuff up yet, right? Me, I've got a few now. So I thought it'd be cool. Let's open up a game. I know. Not everybody likes Villainous. Okay. For some reason, it's cool to hate on Villainous, and I don't know why. Maybe because if you play it with 5 or 6 or 1,700 people, the game is way too slow. I totally agree. I like to play it with just 2 or 3 people. I don't think I'll ever play 5 again because 5 was way too slow. But I love Disney. As anybody that's watched this show knows, I'm a big Disney fan. So yeah, there's Steve O'Rourke saying he is. It's not, the comments are not up yet, Steve, but I'll click on there where it gets there. But I was able to pick up the brand new Villainous, which is Cruella de Vil and Pete and Mother Gothel from Tangled. So let's see if I can do this without cutting my fingers wide open. All right, so BJ from Game Gumbo here. I've got the brand new expansion for Disney's Villainous. It's designed by Prospero Hall and published by Ravensburger. Let's take a look inside. So I know some people are going to like this. I normally like box sleeves, but this one I'm not so sure is really that necessary. Oh, one more thing to cut. Yeah, slice that open real quick. All right. Yeah, this is not my forte. As Carlos will tell you, my forte is not box openings. That's Bradley's job. He does all the box openings. Any Villainous fans out there? Any of you guys played Villainous or fans of Villainous? Chuck still hasn't played Pandemic the Cure. I'm curious to hear about that one. That one just never interested me. Mr. Sean says, Shells of Shame. Sean, you got to work on that. Come on, man. All right, so we got one more to cut. I'm not saying I don't like that box cover. I normally like those, but the only reason I don't like it in this case is that it doesn't match with the other boxes. Now, to be honest, I just dump it all into the big box anyway. Sean says, just got Big Easy Busking. Yeah, Big Easy Busking. That's Carla copping them. Carla was actually sending us some copies that we were going to do as a Play-Doh win at Southern Board Game Fest. We're still going to do that. I like Big Easy Busking. I'm not going to say it's my favorite Weird Draft game. I think I like Fire in the Library better. But Big Easy Busking is fun with people that make quick decisions. It can be mathed out, I think. And if you play with somebody who wants to make the optimal move every turn, the game takes too long. So I think it's player dependent. If it's the right group on the Dukes of Dice scale, it's going to be a nice little 4. If it's the wrong group, it's going to be a 3 or below, maybe even a 2. I can't play with people that have AP in that game because it's supposed to be. I think Josh's intent, although I never talked to him about it, I think the intent was let's just roll with this and have fun with it, and it just it plays too long. So yeah, Rush MD. I know the name. I don't know anything about that one, so you'll have to tell me about that one. All right, so let's get back to Villainous. All right. I love that smell. I used to work in a library, and I just love the smell of books. So, yep. All right, so if you've played Villainous before, you're going to recognize most of the stuff. We've got, oh, good. Matthew Ward just added me. He is the transient on Yukata. And there is Steve O'Rourke. For anybody that wants to play, Steve is always up for a game. He is S. O'Rourke on Yukata. So you get the instructions. Every one of the games comes with this set of instructions. Usually in the back, it's tied to just a little bit of a reference as to exactly what's going on with your particular expansion. And they usually also tell you which ones are, usually they tell you which ones are good for, beginners versus, I don't see that in here and I may be just mixing it up, but in my other expansions, they kind of say which ones are good for beginners, which ones are good for, okay, here we go. Cruella de Vil is recommended for new players, and Pete is recommended for experienced players. So what do we have? What do we have here? We've got, if you've played Villains, you know that each player is going to get a standee, right? Not a standee, but a thing. And this obviously is Cruella. She's got the fur. I mean, this looks exactly like her. My little granddaughters, they love playing with Villainous because they recognize all the little things. I'm going to guess that this is Mother Gothel. And I'm going to guess that this is definitely Pete. Oh yeah, this is definitely Pete. All right, interesting. So we got the homage to the black and white, the old black and white Disneys. So in Villainous, players are trying to, I was going to say get points, but the reality is each character that you play, and now there's what, 6, 3, 33, 9, 6, 15 characters now. Each one of them is going to have a completely asymmetrical deck and a completely asymmetrical way of winning. Their entire path is going to be different. Prince John wants to get the most gold coins. They're all playing evil villains, of course, and unlike, it's a flip on the normal Disney fairy tale where you want the villain to win, and they're going to have this fate deck, which is going to be filled with the good guys, the good girls, the heroes and heroines from the actual movie, or in this case from the cartoons, in the case of Pete. And then you're going to play these cards but sometimes you have to get into that fate deck to get the cards you need, but still that fate deck is also going to mess with you. So it's got a lot of take that between the players, because anytime somebody's a leader, everybody's going to try to gang up on them, although there's some mechanics that'll fix that. Each player has a little player board, and we can take a look at those. Ooh, this is going to be dangerous. Live TV, and I'm doing an unboxing. Probably not my greatest idea. Don't want to overburden the hospitals. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, yes, I can hear Carlos right now. Yes, Carlos, I have trouble opening these things up. I'm trying not to cut myself on live TV. Prince John. All right, so you'll get your little player board. It's got the cool little artwork. Always has a saying that's famous to that character. And then you'll have the little selections. So each one of these are your actions. They're going to get covered up sometimes by the fake cards that are played. So the interaction there is really limiting some of the actions you can do. There's only 4 or 5 things you can do: drawing cards, playing, special actions, getting more power, I think they call it, and that's the currency that you use to make your actions. That is for Cruella de Vil. This is for Mother Gothel, and if you're not familiar with Mother Gothel, she is the stepmother in Tangled. I think she's the stepmother, right? Yeah, in Tangled. She's the one who keeps Rapunzel in the tower. So she's going to have, each one of these are going to be something that is tied to the movie. Rapunzel's tower, the Snuggly Duckling. Oh, that's that inn. By the way, it's a cool area in Disney World over there in Florida. If you ever get to the bathrooms area in the back of Fantasyland, just before you get to Liberty Square, that whole area is dedicated to Tangle, and it's really a very picturesque part. It's great for photo opportunities. They got wanted posters on the walls that you're going to recognize. They've got all the little lanterns. It's pretty cool. And then the last one, of course, is Pete. Pete's interesting because this is the first time we've seen a non-Disney animated feature, a full-length animated feature featured in the game of Villainous. If Pete has ever been in one, I don't think so. He's always been in shorts. So this is interesting that we have not only a black and white character, more of a classic character, but also one not from the movie. Does that open things up to Pixar? Does that open things up to shorts, or maybe even rides? We don't know. We'll have to see. In addition to your player board, you're also going to get these little cheat sheets. These are awesome for first-time players. They tell you a little bit about your character, how to win with the character, what strategies you should use, what are the card combos you're looking for. Then each player is going to get a deck. And, for instance, the Mother Gothel. Oh, my God. Let me see if I can do this without actually. I am an idiot for doing this part. That is a super sharp knife. When you have 2 Marine Sons, you don't have to worry about knives, but you do have to worry about they're super, super sharp. So this is the decks. So Mother Gothel has her deck, which is the dark color deck, and that's all of her henchmen and special powers, and you'll recognize all those things from the movie. But the other players are going to play the Fate deck against you. That's the light color deck. The Fate color deck has, and I'm sure we're going to recognize, of course, Flynn. We're going to have Flynn Rider in there. Ulf, the mime, right? Shardy's the funny guy who, is constantly seen without his pants on. Aging is there. Songs from the movie, Everyone Has a Dream. I'm not going to sing it right now. Of course, our friend Hook Hand, who plays the piano. And the Noble Steed, Maximus. And all of those are going to affect the gameplay as you play them. So that is the deck for Mother Gothel. the last thing, they keep giving us this, even though we don't really need more power. But I guess if you don't have any other expansions, you're going to have that. All right, so that's the little power tokens. I frankly don't know what the rest of these tokens are because it's the first time I've opened up the deck. We've got some gold tokens. I'm not sure. I'm going to have to read the rules and figure out what these are, but we can take a look at those real quick. We'll have to see what these are. Rule the realm. Start your turn with more allies than heroes at each location. Not sure. We'll have to figure that out. And that is the unboxing of Disney's Villainous. One of my favorite games. I'm not going to say it's a 6, Matthew Ward. I'm not going to say anything like that. So, but it is a game that I have certainly enjoyed, and that my little grandkids love playing with these little figurines. So that is Villainous. All right, back to the check. Oh, Matthew Ward's checking out. Got to go. It said Fantastic Factories can be played solo too. I'm not a fan. Sorry. Fantastic Factory, okay. It's a warm bowl of oatmeal. So it's a warm bowl of okay. Let's see what else we got here. Yeah, make sure you add Matthew. He is the transient on there. No. I want to play Grand Australia Hotel, Chuck. I love those designers. That Italian design group, I've liked every single game they've ever come up with that I've played. So it's just playing with players that have a lot of AP in certain games. I don't mind in a bigger game when you're thinking things through. But a game like Big Easy Busking, I don't think it's meant to be an hour-and-a-half game. It's meant to be a breezy 30 or 40-minute game. All right, we'll see you later, Matthew Ward. Have a good night. We'll check you later. Steve says, wasn't a fan of Villainous, but enjoyed singing the Robin Hood songs with Luke, Evan, and Adam. You can't help it when you're playing. I mean, you're going to sing Oodle Holly, or you're going to sing any of those things as you're playing the game. And that is Villainous. All right. Still out here, Chat Crew. We got a few minutes left. Tell me out there, what other games have you played? What are you doing? How is the coronavirus affecting your gameplay, your board gaming nights? Don't forget, Steve O'Rourke, S. O'Rourke on Yucata. I am Board Game Gumbo on Yucata. I'm always up for a game if you want to send me a request. If you like Castles of Burgundy or you like Ulm, you are instantly a friend of mine, and I will play with you on Yucata. Every other game, I'm not saying I'll accept, but if it's one of those two games, I'll even help teach you. I don't mind walking you through the steps of Ulm. So Ulm is not a complicated game at all, and it doesn't take long. It's only 10 rounds. In fact, Steve and I were talking tonight when we just finished out of the game. It always ends faster than you think. It really does. The game doesn't take long at all. All right. Let me see what else I have here. Steve, I brought something for you. A surprise. BJ from Board Game Gumbo here. I've got a little surprise to talk about tonight. I finally got to play a game from one of Steve's friends, Dante Loretta, who I've exchanged lots of emails. Supposed to be on the show, by the way, this season. But because of the studio problems, we haven't been able to get him on. But I finally got to play Xtronaut 2.0. So Dante is an actual, we always say figurative and literally. He's literally a NASA engineer. He's an actual NASA engineer. He's in charge of the Osiris project. I think Steve will correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's the project that put something on a comet or some kind of thing flying through the solar system. And I'm pretty sure that's what he did. So he designed 2 games. Professor Dante Loretta has designed Xtronaut 2.0, and the other one is Downlink. So Xtronaut 2.0 is the second version of the original game of Xtronaut. And Bradley and I finally got to play it. I'll tell you that the Gumbo crew has enjoyed their plays of Xtronaut 2.0 more than Downlink. It's a set collection game, so if you like those kind of games, hey, let's break it out and take a look at it. So, and if you want to, on YouTube, Bradley does a fantastic video where he goes through the complete unboxing of the game, and he also talks about the gameplay. Let's see what we got here. You got the rule book, of course. You don't need to see that. So the heart of the game is in these cards. And the way the cards work is you are trying to develop this rocket, and you're going to get missions that you have to try to complete. The missions are things like this. So there's a ton of them. These will come out, and you can grab one or exchange it if you want to. Pluto Orbiter. So you're trying to get a rocket out to Pluto and orbit around there. And if you do that, depending on the size of the rocket, if it's a small rocket, you'll get 3 points. And if it's a larger rocket, you'll get 6 points. Mission brief. Europa Orbiter. Europa, one of the satellites to Jupiter, if I remember right. Orbit this tiny satellite, icy satellite to map the size and composition of a subsurface ocean. These are all actual mission things that would happen if NASA is trying to launch something out. Tells you what's your speed, and it tells you again the points that you have to have, and what kind of rockets you need to sling, what kind of planet slinging you need to get out there. So those are the missions. How do you do that? Very simple. You have these cards here, and you got this big giant player board, and of course, your player board is very. I mean, what does this look like? This looks like Cape Canaveral, man. It's actual photos. It looks like of rockets that are ready to go out there in Florida, and all of this is set collection. You're trying to get the left fairing, the right fairing, and all of these different booster rockets and parts. And once you have all of them with the right colors on the right mission, and you have the right speed, you can launch your rocket and try to get as many points as you can by completing the mission. So there's a lot of take that in this game. I'm going to warn you, if you're not into take that, there's a lot of cards that are going to mess with the other player. A lot of interaction between the two. The things that we liked about it, if you like set collection and you like something that's got a theme, this is not a pasted on theme. This is the real deal. This is putting together missions. I could see this game being used in high schools, elementary schools, to teach kids how to do some of this stuff. Oh yeah, there's Steven saying Osiris Rex investigating the asteroid Bennu. Okay, good. So it's not a comment. So your mileage may vary. The things that maybe didn't hit with me were that it is luck dependent. As a set collection game, I didn't find that there was a lot of ways to mitigate the card draw. One of the fun things in engine builders, or one of the fun things in deck builders, is your ability to cycle through a deck, cycle through your trash cards, mitigate your luck. Move things up, move things down, right? How can you manipulate the market of cards that are out there? Flushing the market, bringing in new cards. In particular, in one of the games we played, I needed a green left fairing, and I could never pull it out of my deck. When the game ended and Bradley beat me by 10 points, I think I had like 4 points, and he had like 18 or something. All of my left fairings were stuck at the bottom of my deck. Hey, maybe I didn't shuffle that well, but that's not really the point. The point is that I wish that there were some ways that you could mitigate some of the luck so that you could push through and cycle through your deck. But for a guy, a professor who's looking to balance the education and the fun level, I see where he's going, and I think he hit that. Is it a game I would normally bring out at a game night? Maybe not, but Bradley and I had fun playing with it, on a Sunday afternoon, knocking through all the different missions and having fun. So that is Xtronaut 2.0. It's on Kickstarter, I think, right now, still available on Kickstarter if you want to check that out. We have a video where Bradley goes through the whole thing. Much, much better to see that there. Hey, there's our friend Dennis Hoyle, Lions of Lydia. If you haven't checked it out on Kickstarter. Dennis, I'm still in the same old studio. I haven't got my studio ready. And me and Steven and Verla we're playing Yukata, and we're like, you know what? Let's get a show going and just tell people what's going on with Gumbo Live, and maybe we can all work through this coronavirus. So, Dennis, is there anything you're doing to get through the coronavirus besides fanatically watching your Kickstarter with Lions of Lydia? By the way, Lions of Lydia, that's a game from Johnny Pack, our good friend. If you haven't checked out the Kickstarter, make sure you check it out. We've got a video on it. Lots of other people have played it. So check out Lions of Lydia. And that is Xtronaut 2.0 from Professor Dante Ret. Out on Kickstarter. Give it a chance and check it out. But I want to hear from you people out there. What are y'all playing? What's the games that I can look forward to? Let's see if the chat crew has some more ideas on that. Let's see. So Matthew Ward said he's playing Legacy of Dragonholt solo. Yeah, I haven't played that yet. Anybody else out there? I know Matthew's gone, but anybody else out there that's played Legacy of Dragonholt? I've heard so many good things. I need to check that out. I really do. I need to check that out. Let's see what else. Steve says on Yukata, he's always looking for games like Castles of Burgundy or Ulm, Marco Polo, Firenze, Finca, and more. There you are. I was wondering where you were. Hey, Verla. Verla says, oh, she got a phone call and got distracted. So glad you made it in. So Verla, let us know. What have you been playing? And Johnny Pack, we were just talking about you. Dennis was mentioning about it, and I mentioned that we've got a live Kickstarter with a Johnny Pack game. If you like Johnny Pack games, this is definitely a Johnny Pack game in a bite-sized gateway farm. Lions of Lydia. It's from Bellwether Games, and it's out on Kickstarter right now. Give it a chance. We've got a video on it, and you can see a lot of people. We also have we got a review of it. Not a video, we have a review of it. Brian Barnes did the review on that one, so check that out. Hey, so Sean Jones looking to play some games. I know, Mr. Sean, you've got some time, so look for him on Yukata, the Mr. Sean. If anybody wants to, I'm going to start a Gumbo Crew group, and then we can all see who's online and who wants to play games. Again, I'm always happy to play Castles of Burgundy or Ulm, and I'll even walk you through it if you want to play that. So come check that out if you want to. And make sure you check out Johnny Pack's live Kickstarter with Lions of Lydia. Berla is the BG ambassador, the board game ambassador, as you well know from the show. So check her out on Yukata. She's always up for a game. We're walking her through Ulm. Berla didn't do so well her first game, but it was the first game. I mean, I get killed on Yukata every time I play a first game. In fact, to tell you the truth, most of the time it takes me 2 or 3 games. If I haven't played the game physically, in a physical form before, I'm just not going to understand it for 2 or 3 times. I find it so much harder to learn games on Yukata than I do in physical format. I don't know why. Does anybody else have that problem? I like to touch the pieces and understand the interlock, and I just can't get that from Yukata. Yep, a bite-sized Johnny Pack. All right, any other suggestions out there? Let me know. What other games have you been playing? Verla mentioned Targi. If you've got 1 or 2 gamers in your household, Targi is a great one. I have not played Carcassonne South Seas yet. I have not seen that yet. Sorry about the chat crew being a little bit behind for me. I don't always get to see it. I see it on Facebook a lot sooner than that. Yeah, so just to kind of wrap it up here, Gumbo Live, we have been on a hiatus since December because I'm trying to work on getting a new studio. If it's not going to work, I may just have to get this one back up, although I really want to expand the studio and get a nicer size for it. Oh, we got a couple of more comments here. Steve said he's played the opening round or 2 of Legacy of Dragonholt, fantasy world with real diversity of characters, and a choose-your-own-adventure story. That's right. First game on Yukata from Steve. As usual, the name father says it best. It's like your first pancake. It doesn't count. Just toss it out and feed it to the dog. Well, my pancakes, they're good the first time. So Steve, you'll have to come try that. Trying to understand learning online was a beast. I know. And once you play the game a couple of times, Verla, you're going to go, wow, this game is really pretty simple. And it is. It's just the format on Yukata is daunting, and I don't know why. We are playing the Stefan Feld game, Oracles of Delphi, which I haven't played in like a year and a half. I'm completely clueless in the first couple of rounds. I watched a video from John Gets Games, and it's starting to click back with me a little bit, but wow, totally lost on that. And what's the other game we played? I can't think of it. I never did pick it up. Targi's an excellent game. It's on Yukata, right, Steve? I think it is on Yukata. If you haven't played it, you need to play it. Oh, I wish this comment was coming up. Johnny Pack has played Vasco da Gama. For Dice Tower fans, Vasco da Gama is there it is. Vasco da Gama is the game that Tom threw off the roof and is by the guy from Libertalia. Oh, what is his name? Just can't think of it, but he says he hated it back then and he loves it now. Weird how views on things change. Johnny Pack, speaking of that, I I did not like Trajan when I played it 5 years ago, maybe 6 years ago. But I was just starting to play. I wasn't playing any heavier games back then. I was taking a ride in Catan, Carcassonne, probably Cosmic Encounter. That's the level that I was playing. I didn't have anybody that I knew that was playing thicker games. And when one of my scouts brought Trajan, man, it just blew my mind. So that's a game I'm willing to give a chance to. Hey, there's Woody. Woody, we talked about you earlier. We talked about, having you at Southern Board Game Fest and now having to move it to the fall. Woody and them are the designers and publishers of Plunderbun over there at Hutchu Games over in Houston. So Woody says, testing out a Plunderbun expansion. I forgot about Tabletop Simulator. I'm on there. If anybody's out there having some experience with Tabletop Simulator, great place to play. Chuck says Draftosaurus from one of my favorite designers, but I haven't played it yet. So looking forward to trying that. Steve reminded me it's Paolo Mori. That's right. Libertalia and Vasco da Gama. I would be surprised if Vasco da Gama is as bad as Tom said. So, but I would say, Johnny, you would agree with me that you can get away playing with themeless Euros much more than Tom would ever does. So, Paolo Mori. Yeah, Carpe Diem. Verla, I've tried, man. I've played it a demo in person at BGG. I've played it, with some of the Dukes of Dice crew, and I think with you on Yukata. I know it was with Steve and them. And I like Feld. I just don't see what people like about Carpe Diem. Maybe I just got to play it physically with the right group. But nope, Carpe Diem is a hard pass for me. Trajan is one of his favorites, says Johnny Pack, and you should revisit it more. I will. I am going to try to test it out. All right, it's 10 o'clock. Time to get some sleep. This is BJ from More Game Gumbo. I've enjoyed seeing everybody again. This was a lot of fun. Let me see if I can. Just for brief notes, trying to get the studio set up. We're trying to go to a brand new studio. It's going to be a while before I can get this thing set up. I do have a whole list of guests that I want to get on there. People like Johnny Pack, a bunch of others. Jambalaya wants to get back on. So I'm going to try to get that. All right, make sure to like our Facebook page, facebook.com/BoardGameGumbo. We've been doing a lot of YouTube videos in the interim when I can just use this old studio setup. Bradley's been doing some unboxings and overviews. They're not just unboxings. He actually goes through the gameplay, too, if you want to see. It's not a rules teach, but it does give you an overview before you look at the rules. And I've been doing some reviews and some unboxings on YouTube, too. So check those out. Not sure when we're going to be back up. We're on a quick hiatus, but you never know. Maybe Tuesday nights we just keep popping up with these coronavirus shows. You just never know. I'm BJ from Board Game Gumbo. And until next time, chat crew, laissez le bon temps rouler.